Hello everyone. Today we are looking at the question Zero Sum Subarray. Okay. The question says return the maximum length of a subarray whose sum is zero. Okay. Let's take this example. We have an array 1, 2, -2, 4 and 4. We can observe that this is a subarray whose sum is 0 and its length is 2. Okay. This is a subarray whose sum is 0, 4 minus 4 is 0, its length is 2. But we can also observe that this whole subarray, its sum is 2, sum is 0, but its length is 4. Therefore, 4 will be the output for this input. Okay, I hope you understand that. So, how are I going to solve this? We are going to use a map. Okay, we are going to use a map. What we will do is we will traverse through the array one by one and keep adding each element. Like we keep a sum variable, sum. Okay, we come to this index. The current sum is 1 at index 0. Okay, we will store it in the map like sum comma position. Okay, as this format we will store it in the map like so. Now at I equal to 0, the sum is 1. Okay, next we find 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Therefore at index 1 we have the sum as 3. Now what we'll do is we come to index 2 and add this to the sum. Now sum becomes 1 again. We can see that the sum 1 has already been found at index 0. Okay, the, therefore we can tell that from this part to this part the sum is 0. That means I minus so the length of the subarray whose sum is 0 is length is I minus uh, let's call this map as mpp, I minus mpp of sum. Okay, that means the current index is 2 and the one sum was found at index 0. That means for this case 2 minus 0, therefore the length is 2. I hope you understand that. Now going further, we come to this element, that is 4. Therefore 4 plus 1 is 5 and it is found at index 3. Okay, so at index 3 5 sum is found. Okay, now we find minus 4. Therefore 5 minus 4 is 1. We can again observe that 1 was found at the 0th index. Okay, for therefore to find the length, uh, therefore we can tell that again we have found a subarray whose sum is 4, as the sum is found again in the map. Okay, this is an intuition based question. I hope you, if you dry run, you will understand. To find this length of the subarray, you need I minus mpp of sum. That means here at current index, currently the I is at 4 and mpp of sum. That means this is already in the array. Therefore mpp of sum is 0. Therefore 4 is the length, which is this one. Now we have two lengths. What will be the answer? The answer will be maximum of these two. That means 4. 4 will be our answer. Okay. Let's take another example. 1 3 minus 4 5 minus 4 and minus 1. Okay. Now we are going to use the map sum. Currently sum is 1, therefore at index 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Therefore at index 0 we have the sum as 1. Okay. We previously did not find any value of sum 1 in the map, therefore we will continue. Okay. Now 3 plus 1 is 4. Is the sum 4 is found in the map? No. Therefore we put it in the map. Therefore at index 1 we find the sum as 4. Okay. Now move further. 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay. 0 is 0 found in the map earlier? No. Therefore at index 2 the sum is 0. Here we need to do one thing. We will keep the length as it is, as the sum is 0 up to this part. Okay. Therefore for this type of situation, will if we encounter sum equal to 0, okay, we will write uh, answer equal to I plus 1. Why? I is 2, but the sum 0 comprises of these three length elements. Therefore 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay. Therefore we can say that these three elements combine up to 0. Okay. Now we move further. 5. At index 3 we have the sum 5. Okay. Now minus 4, that means 1. The sum 1 was already found in the map, therefore this length will be I, that means 4. 4 minus 0, this is 4. Therefore the current max is, at first this was 3 was the maximum, now current max is 4. Okay. Now we move again. 1 minus 1, that means it is 0. Now I have told you that uh, if we find that sum equal to 0, we will keep answer equal to I plus 1. Here I is 5, therefore 5 plus 1 is 6. Therefore 6 becomes the current maximum, and this will be our answer. Okay, let's move to the code part. I hope you will understand better there. Let's take an array int n cinn vector int a of n size. For int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Now cin a of I. Okay. Now cout zero sum sub array. We need to send the array. Okay. The function will return an integer of the maximum subarray length. Therefore the return type is int. Int zero sum subarray. It will take vector int a. Okay. Int n equal to, let's say, a dot size. Now we're going to use unordered map of int and int. Why MPP? Okay, we're going to use this map. Now we will keep a variable sum, int sum equal to 0 and answer say equal to 0. Okay, or let's still keep this as maximum. Now we will do what we did. We will traverse through the array and let's say for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. We will traverse through the array and add each element to a sum value, right? So sum plus equal to a of I. Now what we're going to do is, at first we will need to write this condition that if sum becomes 0, okay, if sum becomes 0, the maximum becomes I plus 1. Why? Because let's uh, give you an intuition. Let's say uh, this so 1, 2, minus 2 and minus 1. Let's say first we find that this was the subarray which sum is 0, the length is 2. But if we see that if we add up to here, the sum becomes 0. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. If we add up to the full array, the sum is 0. So for that condition, always if we find that I I plus 1 is becoming 0, this will always be the maximum. Why? This is the reason, as subarray is only a part, but when sum up to I becomes 0, that means the whole array up to I becomes 0. Therefore this is the maximum. If sum becomes 0, maximum, this should be our maximum length, if you understand well. Okay, now else if this is not the case, what we need to do is we first need to search that if this value like this one was already found in the map or not. So how to search in a map? If mpp dot find sum, we need to find the sum, current sum, like here was 1, we need to find that sum was already in the map or not. Dot find is not equal to mpp dot end. So this means that if by finding it does not reach the end, that means it is found. Okay, therefore maximum becomes max of maximum, that means the previous maximum, and I minus mpp of sum. Okay, and else if it is not found in the map, we will write mpp of sum equal to I. Okay, this is the case, and after the loop we must return maximum. Now let's take an example. 5, 1, 2, minus 2, 4 and minus 4. Okay, let's run it. The answer should be 4. Yes. So let me explain the code and the dry run side by side. Okay. See, you can see that we are taking a sum variable uh, sum variable. What happened here? Here you can see that we took the sum variable, and a maximum. Okay, to keep the maximum as a record. Now we, for each iteration, we are adding each element to the sum. We are adding each element to the sum. If sum becomes 0, like for this case, we are uh, d- giving the maximum as I plus 1. Why I explained earlier. But if it is not the case, like for this case, it will first search that is 1 present in the array or not. Is 1 present earlier? No. Then it will add 0 and 1. For 2, it will again not find, therefore 2 plus 1 becomes 3. At index 1, that means in I, 3 comma 1s, is added. Okay. Now minus 2. 3 minus 2 becomes 1. 1 is found in the array, therefore we keep uh, maximum equal to maximum comma I minus, that means the length is I minus MPP of sum. That means I minus MPP of sum is 0. Okay, I hope you understand. If you try run, you will understand. If you find the video helpful, please subscribe to the channel.